Hey, it's Todd with Defense and Safety. I have a knife I'd like to share with you. I just got this on, I guess it came on Friday, maybe Thursday, last week. Today is Sunday, so just a few days ago. And I've been checking it out, got some thoughts. This is the limited edition Benchmade 806 1101, commonly called the AFCK, or Advanced Folding Combat Knife. This knife has been made on and off for several years by Benchmade. Originally, it did not have an axis lock. It came with a frame lock. Now they've switched to the axis lock. And interestingly enough, it has the spider hole. So what's great about this knife, I guess, is that it's limited. So you can't, it's hard to get these. The regular production isn't made anymore, or I would have bought one or two of them. I really like it. This is number 378 out of 400. You can see that right there. And I don't think you can read it up in this corner, but it's M390 steel. And I will tell you, Benchmade did a phenomenal job sharpening this. This is by far the sharpest knife out of the box I have ever bought or touched. It is just screaming sharp, and I've got kind of a technique I do on all my new knives now, or any knife, but especially when I get them new, is I just take my sharp maker from Benchmade or Spyderco. I take out the fine stone, and all I do is hone, which, you know, you're pulling away from it instead of where you go down. But I just hold the stone right, like on this mat here, up at an angle, and I just hone it like 5 or 6 times on each side, and then I strop it. And I would say that every knife I've done that to, it feels 25% sharper. And now it is amazingly sharp. So very nice. One of the things I like about this knife over the original is that it has 4-position clip options. I right now have it set for tip down carry for left-handed. I was carrying it tip up left-handed, but one of the 2 things I don't like about this knife is this G10 is essentially has the same grip as hard plastic. There's nothing there. There's 0 grip. And so when I would grab it this way, I felt like I couldn't get a good grip on it. I mean, smooth titanium is grippier. So by switching it to tip down, when I reach into my pocket and grab by the clip, I can either grab on top of this axis or in front of on the spider hole and get it out, so it's a little easier to pull out. The other thing I want to point out that I kind of nitpick about this knife, I didn't know, I wish I would have known, is the tip here is about almost even. If I don't even have to push down on my skin, but it'll go between here and touch that tip. So if I really push down and in there, which I don't see how you would be able to do that in normal use, you would hurt yourself. So I wish it were just a couple millimeters lower somehow. But other than that, I really like this knife. I love the M390. I like the shape, this kind of sweeping arch shape. It feels really good in the hand. This kind of choil here, which originally was where the liner lock would be, and you would release it. Now you just get your finger in there. Feels really good in the hand. This part really comes back nice. Even in reverse grip, it feels really good. Let me straighten the camera. So even without the grip, lack of grip on the G10, it does grip well, and you can get a good purchase on it. And it's got a little bit of a area right here. You could have your finger up there. I don't know, but you could. And again, it's got the spidey hole. I like the shape of this blade. It's got a little bit of a swedge here up near the tip, Just a real nice design. I guess the thing to compare it to would be the Benchmade 710. And the blade is almost identical, except the 710 has the recurve, and obviously this swedge is a little different, but otherwise fairly identical knife. That kind of classic blade to handle ratio is there, just a little bit longer here, but it does actually come right to the end. I mean, you can see it's just almost to the end, so it does fill up the handle. Another knife probably to compare it to would be the Spyderco Military. Just move this up like that, and you can see here almost the same length. This choil, half choil on the Benchmade takes a little bit of blade length away. If I put them edge to edge, you can see this is a little longer. If I put them tip to tip, they're the same. So you maybe lose about 1/8 of an inch of blade there. Another blade shape I think that's almost identical to this is the Microtech SOCOM Elite. You can see it almost has the exact same swedge and face here on this, and the upswept, and then the curving is almost identical. So very similar. But yeah, I tell you, the one thing, this is a very well made knife. I feel like I bought a gold class Benchmade. You can see it's got the 2 standoffs for construction, and they're, I guess, anodized aluminum or titanium. The liners are drilled out. Now, historically, the liners have been titanium on these models, so I'm assuming they still are, but I don't know if they switched after going to the axis lock. It feels fairly light, so I don't think it's steel. The but in general, I mean, like I said, this knife, the fit and finish and the feel of this, the smoothness of this blade is just unbelievable. It is the nicest Benchmade I've ever handled. I've never held a gold class, but this feels head and shoulders above the 710, and I think it's really cool. Looks good. So I kind of thought it's kind of got a gentleman's folder look to it, even though it's supposed to be an advanced folding combat knife. And I thought maybe I would start using it as my official steak knife. I think the M390 would hold up well, and then using it to cut on a plate. You just kind of lighten up your cutting as you get to the bottom of the steak, so you don't, scratch it like this back and forth on a plate. But I actually had a pork chop the other night, a really thick, 1-inch thick pork chop on the grill, and it was so perfect. And I didn't want to use the normal steak knives we have, and I ended up using my Spyderco Military. And afterwards, the blade felt just as sharp. All I did was hone it and strop it again, and it felt even sharper. So I like to see just a nice little steak knife. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. There is a little bit of jimping, just like you see on most Spydercos, where they have this kind of stuff that's on the edge of the liners, and then it goes into the blade. It's fairly grippy. Not that great, but it's suitable. And with the choil, like I said, I get a good grip on it. I'm warming up to the lack of grip, but again, I wish I had a one with the heavier G10, heavier meaning coarser. I would have really liked that. So maybe I'll get one day, or maybe they'll come out, maybe they'll re-release it. I think Benchmade should. Give it a thumbs up if you wish Benchmade would make this a normal production knife again. I would love to get this. The 805 is the same version of this with thumb studs, kind of like the 710, but it's got this same cutout, exact shape. Everything's the same, just no hole and thumb studs there. But I'd take either one if they would start producing them again. All right, well, this is just wanted to give you kind of an overview of this. Oh, here's the box. If you've never seen one when it's limited, they say limited on them, which is nice. It says it down here. And then here on the end, you can see. So here again is the Benchmade 806 1101 in M390, limited to 400. Thanks for, lost the focus. Thanks for watching, everyone. And probably if you're watching this, I've probably broken 500 subscribers. So thanks, everyone. I'm really excited, and I'll probably try to put together a contest here shortly, something fun. All right, thanks again. Bye.